Hey everybody. So you sat around and you listened to the worst concerts I've ever been to. You want to know what my 7 best concerts I ever went to was? Stick around, I'll tell you. Okay, so in our last video, I told you the 7 worst concerts that I'd ever been to. Once again, my name is Josiah. I'm Cynical Italian. I am a retired musical DJ, performer, venue promoter, and manager, band manager. I've done everything in the music and entertainment industry. Retired about 15 years ago now. So we're talking about concerts. I've been to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of concerts in my life. So I took some time and we thought about what the best and the worst concerts were and why. So here's my list of sitting around and really thinking about the ones that were the most meaningful concerts to me, or concerts that had really good stories that happened during the concert. Okay. Lots of people just go to a concert. It's a concert. You see a live show. It's awesome. Da, 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 da. For me, sometimes other things happen during these concerts, which makes them way more meaningful. So we're going to start at number 7. One of my favorite concerts was Ginger at the Van Buren in Phoenix, Arizona. There was about 2,000 people. We got there early. We were right up front. And it was an amazing show. It was my first time seeing Ginger live. And I highly recommend, if you're a Ginger fan, you got to see them live. And if they ever come into the Texas, Oklahoma area, I will be there. But yeah, we were right up on stage. There's actually a video of it. I recorded them doing the Pisces portion of the video. It's on the channel. Check it out. We'll have a link to it at the end of the video. I was right up on stage, and there's a part where Tatiana comes over and winks at me and waves, kind of does a finger thing at me. And it was fun, and it was a great interaction between me and Tatiana. Yeah, so that was something that I really enjoyed, and it was a lot of fun. So there you go. Number 6, Steel Panther. I have seen Steel Panther, I don't know, 6 or 7 times. They are the funnest night out band on the planet. If you're not a stick in the mud, prude, if you're any of those things, Steel Panther is not for you. If you don't know, but you like fun music, and your morals are a little low, go check out Steel Panther, because they're absolutely amazing. Like I said, I've seen them 7 or 8 times. Of those times, my favorite was going to be, I don't remember what year it was, but it was at the Showbox Market in downtown Seattle, Washington. So there's 2 Showbox venues in Seattle. There's the Showbox SoDo, which is in the South District, right next to Seahawks Stadium and the Mariners baseball stadium. And then there is the Showbox Market, which is literally right at the entrance to the Pike Place Market. Basically, all of when you see TV or you see whatever, and you see the iconic picture that's pointing at the water, and you see the Pike Place Market sign when they do videos of Seattle, that camera is basically standing with the Showbox Market marquee, and front door is behind them when they're taking that picture. It was about 1,500 people fit into that building. It's just a really cool, it's got big, beautiful chandeliers. It's a nice, small, encased standing room only. There's 3 bars that wrap around, so you can get a drink no matter where you are. But it's like you're right on stage, and Steel Panther puts on an amazing show, and it's just so fun. And once you go to one, you're going to want to keep going every time they come to town. Steel Panther is that band for me. I'll keep going as long as they keep putting on shows. So number five is Disturbed. This was at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas with about 15,000 people. This was an awesome show, but it was a show that wasn't supposed to happen. So this was 6 years ago. My son was 17. My son used to race BMX. And it was the beginning. He had just hit his 16th. When he was 16, he won. He was number one in Arizona. He got the number one plate. He was number one best 16-year-old racer in Arizona. The next year started his 17th year of being alive, his age, going into the 17s. We went up there for, my list just fell. It's all right. We went up there for the first nationals race of the year, and the nationals races are 3 days. So it's a race on Friday night, then it's a big race Saturday, and big races Sunday. And he had kind of talked about being done racing after winning Arizona the year before, and but it had never been a serious thing. But it was just a conversation, and I don't push my kids. I push my kids in the directions that they want to go, and I help and try to provide the best that I can. We went up to Vegas. We had everything all paid for. We were there. He did Friday night races. When we got done with Friday night, we went back to our condo. He kind of went to sleep. We didn't talk much. The next morning we got up. We were headed to the casino where the races were happening. And on the way, he said he didn't think he wanted to race anymore. Thought he was done. I said, okay, are you 100%? If you are, we'll go down here. We'll go into the equipment. We'll pick up all of our gear. I'll go up into the pay tents and try to get a refund for Saturdays and Sundays races because they hadn't started yet. He said he was. Okay, so we went in and we withdrew him from the rest of the weekend and got a refund for all the races. And then we just kind of hung out in Vegas for the weekend. We were booked in our condo until Sunday night, Monday morning. So I was just like, we're going to stay until Sunday. Let's hang out Saturday, have a good time. And we were doing that. We were hanging out. We're doing the things that you can do with a 17-year-old in Las Vegas. And we made a turn and come around. And I know that I'm rambling, but we made a turn. We came around the corner and there was a big billboard. Disturbed, T-Mobile Arena, tonight, 7 p.m. It was like 3 o'clock. And I said, oh, shit. Bud, you want to go see Disturbed? He's like, yeah, they're going to be sold out. I said, nah, I mean, we can find scalpers on the strip, or let's just go up to the box office and see. Sure enough, we went up to the box office. They had, what did they tell us? They had like 700 tickets left. It was a 15,000 seat arena. It was basically sold out by the time we got in, but we got 2 tickets. We got great seats and went and saw Disturbed, and it was absolutely amazing. Vocally, the sound quality was absolutely amazing inside T-Mobile. It was the 5th best concert I've ever been to. It was a really badass show. Number 4. This is that band. They were on my worst list, but they're on my best list also, and that was Metallica at Seahawks Stadium in, where else? Seattle, Washington. About 60,000 people. They put on an amazing show. It was absolutely, if there'd have been a roof, it had gotten blown off. It was an awesome performance from Metallica. It sounded great. They played all the best of the best. It was just all around an amazing night in Seattle with the boys of Metallica. Number 3, This goes to a band called Chevelle. I've seen Chevelle 4 or 5 times. This particular show was at the Knitting Factory in Spokane, Washington. So the Knitting Factory is another one of those. They've got like 5 or 6 different cities. So this was the Knitting Factory in Spokane, Washington. About 1,000 people. It's a small venue. And we got there early, and it was different. So that Knitting Factory is different in the fact that the floor was where the all ages are, and then it had 2 mezzanines towards the back, and those were for 21 and over, and those had bars. Well, we took my son, and at this point, Ethan was like 12. So I wanted to be up on the little raised mezzanine area so you can see the stage better. It's only 1,000-person venue, so you're still, even on that mezzanine, you could spit on the stage from there. But they put us on the floor. Well, we ended up right on the rail. And so I'm standing holding the rail. I've got my son standing below me, my wife standing next to me. And the band came out. Well, the main lead singer from Chevelle was standing. I could have tied his shoes. So there was only a space maybe this wide between, you couldn't walk, the security couldn't barely walk between the rail and the stage. I could touch the stage. And that was his feet. He was right there. And Chevelle, the 3 times that I've seen them, sound amazing. I would go see them again right now. But there was an awesome part. There's a song. He made reference to Ethan a couple of times. And the best part was that there was a song, I want to say that it's The Red, and it's this, where it's very slow and it's melodic and it's da 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 da. And then it kind of does this break and then just crush. Crowd goes nuts. Da 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 da. Well, during this, we're staring straight at him. And he's playing the song and he's singing and he's looking down and he's looking at the crowd and he's doing his thing. And it goes into that breakdown and he turns away from the mic and he leans forward and leans right down at my son and looks at him dead in the face. And they're right. And he goes, "Are you ready?" And then stands back up and just, and the place went nuts. It was the coolest thing. My son's just standing there in awe. And this was his second concert. And so, yeah, he had some luck at some concerts, this little boy did. You can find out about that more later. So anyways, that was Chevelle, number 3. Number 2 was Linkin Park at the Gorge in Washington State. It's in George, Washington. It's at the Gorge, which is kind of a mini version of the Grand Canyon. It's absolutely beautiful. That venue is huge, outdoor amphitheater, about 27,000 people. And there were some okay opening bands. Not a huge fan of the openers for that show. I really can't remember off the top of my head the names of the bands. Like Jared Leto's band. He was one of the openers. I can't stand him. It wasn't any good. But Linkin Park came out, crushed it. I've seen Linkin Park 3 or 4 times. I have not seen the new version of Linkin Park. They are coming or have come. I was going to get tickets and then I didn't. Anyways, Linkin Park with Chester, with everybody. This was back in the day. This was in 2012 or 2013. It was an awesome show. They sounded amazing. The background, when you see, so you're looking at an amphitheater, but you are on top of pretty much the Grand Canyon, and behind that is the canyons, and they've got them lit up, and it's the most amazing view that you're looking at. So you're looking at this amazing stage, but then what's past the stage is ridiculous. That's number 2. Number 1 on my list of favorite concerts I've ever been to is Limp Bizkit. I've seen Limp Bizkit 5 or 6 times. This was at the Knitting Factory in Boise, Idaho. 1,500 people. This was my son's very first concert. He was 11. And At the Boise one, the floor was for 21 and over. The mezzanine that sat right up above was for all ages. And we were right on that rail. And Ethan is standing on a table rail next to me. He's got his Limp Bizkit shirt on. And we're just having an amazing time. And at one point, Fred comes over, and I've got photos of this. Fred comes over and is hanging on the lights and decides it just picks my son out of the crowd and starts having a full-on conversation with him. It was pretty awesome. Fred and my son are yelling back and forth at each other in the middle of the concert. Like the music drops way down and Fred is having this whole conversation with my son. And then they go back to doing more music, and he's doing stuff, and it's rocking. We're another half an hour, 45 minutes later into the show, and a fight took place on the other side of the stage. And Fred is one of those guys that will stop the show. If he sees it, he'll stop the show, and he pick the people out, and he will stop the fight. He will stop whatever's happening. And no, this isn't happening, right? And he did that. But it was hilarious because in the middle of it, now I'm going to tell you, it's 45 minutes later, in the middle of this stopping everything, and he's making sure that everything's okay, Fred stands up, turns, points at my son, and says, "Are you all right over there, little dude?" And Ethan, yeah. And Fred goes, "All right. Since he's okay, let's get back into it," and started the concert back up again. So that was my son's very first concert, was Limp Bizkit, and he sat and had 2 amazing conversation interactions with Fred Durst of Limp Bizkit. It was an absolute amazing thing. And then, yeah, like I said before, his second concert was Chevelle, where the lead singer of Chevelle is talking to him. So anyways, 2 notables, though, are both Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit was the opening act for Metallica at that Seahawks Stadium show. That was the Summer Sanitarium tour. And what I loved about that performance, it didn't make number 1, but what I loved about that performance was that was when Limp Bizkit was at the verge of starting to get their hate. And people that were mega Metallica heads didn't like that rock mash that was happening. And the Seahawks football field was covered in these white tiles that kind of clipped together. And the fans started ripping those up off the floor and were hucking them at the stage. And Fred and the guys kept playing and put on an amazing show. And the only thing that stopped that from happening was Lars Ulrich from Metallica, the drummer, came out on stage and sat on the drum kit and rocked out to the whole Metallica, or to the whole Limp Bizkit. That was an amazing tour because it was Chevelle, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit, and Metallica. It was a ridiculous show. The other one, notable, was also Limp Bizkit. I was at WrestleMania in Mariners Stadium, which was called Safeco Field back then. And that was when Limp Bizkit was big, and Undertaker was doing the American Badass, and he came out to Rollin'. And Limp Bizkit was the live performers during WrestleMania. And I took my sister, who was a fan of Limp Bizkit, but she was a wrestling fan too. I didn't tell her that Limp Bizkit was the musical act. And so it was a big surprise for her. And it was just an awesome thing. So anyways, I'm Josiah, the Cynical Italian. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening to my rambles about the things I've done. Go out and see these bands. These guys are great. All these bands are amazing. And nowadays, with the way the music industry is and how music is getting out, this is really how they make their money, is off of merch and their live shows. So get out and see these bands. Go see them in the big shows. Go see the guys at the little events. I've made comments about, well, this size, this size. I love all of it. I love the 1,000-person venues. I love the 60,000-person venues, as long as they get the sound right. If the sound's not good, concert's going to suck. I don't care who the band is. Anyways, That was my list of best. I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys in the next one. Later.